Okay, guys. So, kind of, sort of funny thing happened. I guess what I want to say is not everything in life is, how can I put it? Not saying it's not so serious, but I think sometimes you have to laugh also in order to just enjoy the journey that you're on. So, I want to tell you something that happened to me funny at church on Sunday. Now, I said, I said that the enemy was trying to use me, but I kind of think some of it too is my personality because sometimes I'm silly and situations that you have to laugh to keep from crying. But this is what happened. So Sunday I was in church, right? And I had some things on my mind and I was like, okay, so the pastor called altar call, right? Now, mind you, it's like 90 degrees outside and everybody's dressed in sundresses and sandals and flip-flops. And it's just a wonderful summer day, right? So I go up to the altar. I got every intention on bowing my head and praying and just being in the moment with God and just being in the presence. And it's every Sunday I find myself doing something different that allows me to understand how far I've come in my walk. You know what I mean? Spiritually, like I reach new levels. I don't care what it is, praying, reading, talking to God, different things happen. So I went up to the altar, and I hope nobody like finds this offensive, but um I went up to the altar and it's like a whole bunch of people standing around. So the pastor is still talking. So I go to bow my head, and I bow my head when he's still talking, but I'm already in the mode. I'm already in the presence. I'm standing there and praising God or whatever. And someone said, "Open your eyes," right? So I happened to open my eyes, and every woman around me, every woman's feet was ashy. I don't know how I opened my eyes and just happened to look. And it's like they had powder on the back of their feet and ankles, and it like they was walking in the desert with Jesus. I'm sorry, I don't mean to say it like that, but I I try to block it out. I was like, devil, get thee behind me, because I'm trying not to. I'm like, what's going on? Like, why am I focused on this? And I'm trying to. He hadn't started quite praying, right? So I opened my eyes back up, and I couldn't unsee it. It was like, I kid you not, it was like every woman that was around me feet was like they had been playing in the sandbox. I mean, you had people feet hanging off the back of their sandals and had flip flops on. I'm trying to be serious, but I couldn't understand what was going on. I'm like, Lord, help me, Jesus, let me stay focused, right? So I just couldn't understand it, and I just felt like at that moment, like, Lord, I had to pray. I said, Lord, give me strength. Just please block this out, because I was trying not to. And my daughter, she was on the other side. She had walked up. I think I went up before her, and then she came, I guess. But I had nobody hand to hold on to, because I was trying. I was asking for strength. I was like, Lord Jesus, help me, because I couldn't even focus on the prayer, because when I tell you, it was so many ashy women around me. So I guess what I want to say is, ladies, because it's summertime and you in church, and people shouldn't be looking at, we come to church to not judge each other, but put some lotion on your feet. Because I started to look at my feet. I said, no, I said, it's not me. But all I can say is that the devil, he tried to use me to get me off my game and not focus on that prayer. But it did distract me, because I just couldn't understand how many black beautiful women. I mean, Lord. Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. And then also, something else happened. So I get to the gym, and I'm pulling up, and it's this big burgundy truck. So this is a second story time I want to tell y'all about. So this is how he tried to do me twice this week. And like, when you have your weaknesses and things that you still working on, it's like he'll try to use certain things like distracting you from prayer, and also like your time with God. Like, I felt like that was him trying to distract me in the church. Like, oh, look at their ashy feet. Okay, let me stop. So I was coming in. I was going to the gym, and I'm pulling up, right, and there was an open parking spot. So I see the parking spot like right where I want to park at, and it's in between these handicap spots. So I'm pulling up, but you got to pull this way because the parking spot was like, how can I put it? It was on my left side. I'm coming from the right. So I would have to pull into it, but I like to pull up and then back into the spot. So as I'm pulling up to it, I put my signal on, but then I had like turned so I can back in. It's this burgundy truck coming out of nowhere. And I'm like, I know this lady not thinking that you see my signal going there. So I turn my wheel and I pull into it, right? I guess she sits there looking like, okay, this is not a handicap spot. The handicap spots are next to me. I didn't take a handicap spot. And when I was pulling up, the person was way down there. They were not coming close. So I back into my spot. I go into the gym. So I get into the gym and I notice it's this lady. She comes over to where we're working out, right? So we're all working out, laughing, having a good time. Now, I forgot to tell you that, mind you, when I was pulling back in the spot, I guess she had busted a U-turn and came back, and she started rearing towards my car really fast. Had I not pulled in, she like just missed the front part of my bumper. And I'm like, what the heck was that? It's like an older lady trying to run me down. So I saw her head and I said, oh, okay. So I guess it's this lady walking into the gym with a cane. Now, mind y'all, she's like a couple years older than me. I would never. So I'm in there working out. Didn't say anything. Sorry, I still would have spoke. But I guess she's talking to somebody. I didn't pay attention. I went and got changed. I came out on the floor. I'm talking to the guys. She comes over. Hey, to the guys. Hey, let me tell y'all what she did. See, that's where I draw the line. And that's what I'm trying to say is I think the enemy is trying to use me, because don't come in and say what I did. And don't come in talking about no petty parking spot. Because I leave people alone. I mind my business until you start messing with me. And that's where I had to say, like, that at that moment I should have prayed and been like, peace be still, because I cannot. And I think the enemy was trying to use her to poke every button. I tried to ignore this lady. She telling the other girls around, yeah, she gonna take the parking spot, and saw I was coming for the parking spot. Now, I would not take no parking spot from no old lady. I wouldn't do that. So she kept talking, and as she talking, I'm getting a little bit more. I'm like, please, Lord, help me for this lady. I'm not trying to. I don't do that anymore. So she talking, yeah, and let me tell you how she did it. And then she put it in part. She keep going on, and I'm thinking to myself, like, this lady tried to run into the front of my car. I didn't know what was going on when she did it. Make a long story short, I end up kind of being like, I just snapped. I didn't mean to snap, but I was like, listen, I said, I don't know who you're talking to. I said, but that it's a parking spot. And I was like, and I did not do that. And I was like, I didn't even see you coming, and that wasn't my intention. But I was like, kind of like real, I was kind of, hopefully I wasn't nasty with it, but I just felt like, shut up. We're in the gym. Nobody's talking about a parking spot. Forgive me, Lord, for saying shut up. But it was just, to me, like, why are you over here telling people what happened, something outside between me and you, which didn't affect me or you. We both came in the gym. You found you a parking spot. But that's what I mean about how the devil will try to pull you back into like little petty things that you don't do anymore. Like something like that. Like I had a great day and I come in there and all of a sudden here come boom, somebody trying to bring me back to where I'm trying not to be. I don't curse. I'm not trying to go off on you, but I just felt like she just came over into our circle and just started telling people what I did. And then someone had the nerve to tell me like, oh yeah, well, that she was just playing, and you shouldn't let that bother you. You gotta let things like that go over your head. But that's the thing. I didn't say anything about it, and I continued to ignore, and she kept telling the story. And I could see if she came in and said, girl, you took my parking spot, you know what I'm saying, and walked away, or was like, that was my parking spot. Okay, that would have been, okay, he could have laughed about it, and that was it. But when you come over and start telling everybody a story, let me tell you what she did. Like, you don't know me like that. And I feel like sometimes we got to be mindful, because, and like they said, that's how people get shot. And I don't plan on doing anything like that, but I'm saying, when I got kind of upset about it, like, listen, you can quit saying that because I didn't take your parking spot. Now I'm getting serious because I feel like you were dragging other people into it. And I felt like, yeah, the enemy was trying to get me to snap. And I kind of let go of where I'm not trying to be. And I was so disappointed in myself that I said, I apologize to the lady, because, I kind of took it to another level when I said, listen, now, I didn't do that. And everybody's like, wow, she's serious. Like, it's a time and a place for everything. But I don't like when people say things like that, especially if it's something negative about me and I know that I didn't do. And that's so silly. It's something small as a parking spot, but it's still made me feel like, come on, like, why you come over there with this negativity? And that's when you realize that you still have unresolved trauma from the things. Like, I used to allow people to talk to me any kind of way. I used to allow people to say anything to me, and especially older people. I used to allow people to say and do anything to me, and I would never defend myself. And I think that when I started doing that, I kind of snapped, and that's what I had to heal from, because I feel like I don't trust people a lot. And when you don't trust people that they have your best interest at heart, sometimes it comes off as very, you can snap on people. And that's how I used to be. Like, I'm like, I don't trust you because I know whatever you're saying about me is negative, because a lot of people used to use me, and that was a lot of pain in my past. So that taught me also that I still got trauma that I need to deal with, because I don't trust, and I feel like it was trauma from my past of allowing people to use me and say whatever they wanted to say to me. So that was my story time. I just wanted to say they tried me twice this week, but the funny thing was, in church, I just felt like distractions can come from all ends. And sometimes when you everything is not always so serious. And I feel like even though I had that funny moment in church, it was just something that I felt like it gave me a little bit of relief in a moment where I was kind of, feeling a little bit of pressure and feeling kind of sad. But also at the same time, I was in the presence, and I just felt like God was all around, and I felt like he will understand that I'm human. And sometimes we laugh at things because they're funny, and not because we're trying to talk about someone or downgrade them. So that was a little funny moment I had in church. That has never happened to me before. I'd never really get too distracted while I'm praying, but except for the man that was in a pew in front of me and my daughter like a month ago, and he passed gas. And I'm like, I know you lying. And my daughter, we both smelled something, like, hold up. And then his wife smacked him because she must have smelled it, because she went to pray, and she was like, and she looked at him, and then she smacked him. And we saw it. We was like, oh my God, I was about to throw up. I was like, oh my God. So anyway, that's like, funny things happen all the time in church, but you just got to know that, life is just full of fun. You just got to enjoy yourself. So hope everybody's having a great weekend. I just want to come on and tell my story time, something funny that happened to me, and also when I was being tested, when I couldn't really let go. But I also want y'all to know that even when things happen like that and you end up falling back into the pattern of places that you said you would never go again, it's okay. Just pray about it. And I'm glad that I had somebody positive to talk to about it, about what I went through in my past, and the reason why sometimes, it's hard for me to let go when somebody do things like that to me. So thanks. You know who you are. I was able to talk to you and confide in you. And I hope everyone's having a blessed and wonderful week, or start to their weekend. Bye.